Hello Figgy Fiends and Collectors, this is me, Daniel East 1000, back again with another Star Wars The Black Series figure review. Today we're going to be having a look at two figures from Wave 25. This has been dubbed the Attack of the Clones wave just because all the figures in this wave are from the Attack of the Clones. It's also what I like to call a cheeky wave because they are, for the most part, repaint with some retooling, which to some would be a slight disappointment, to others it's kind of expected and kind of fair enough because most of them do sort of serve a purpose even though they're not 100% screen accurate. Of course, Hasbro are a toy company. Given all the absolute amazing figures they have been producing this year, a lot of new sculpts, new items, it's kind of fair enough. They do need to somehow save the money and cut the losses a little bit. This wave is that. Don't get me wrong, some of the figures do look like they absolutely slap. In terms of these ones, I personally don't mind them, but I can see why others probably be a bit miffed. So without further ado, today we're going to be having a look at Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi. First, as per usual, we'll take a quick look at the packaging, then the figures themselves. Thought I'd give you a look at both of them just because it kills two birds with one stone. I got these together from Kapow Toys for £17.99 each because they are sold separately, but got them sent together because you can't have one without the other in terms of these two. So here we have Anakin and Obi-Wan's boxes. This will probably be the last wave, and I think it is the last wave that will see this packaging, and unfortunately Gregory Titus's lovely artwork appear. If I'm not mistaken, this packaging will continue on with the gaming grates, although that's remained to be seen. At least we're going to see it with the Jango Fett, but it has needed a bit of a freshen up. Come with me as we enjoy this style of packaging for possibly, maybe not, one last time. So here we have the bubble on both of these where the figure sits. You've got nice artwork again, like I said, by Gregory Titus. Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan name tags at the bottom. Star Wars The Black Series at the top. On the side, you've got their names run along the spine. And then on the other side, the number. So Anakin is 110. Obi-Wan is 111, and on the back you've got a bio on both these characters, of which I will include in the description below. Once again, of course, you have got that lovely artwork by Gregory Titus and a ton of legal garb at the bottom, of which we've all come to love and know. As always, like I've said with these packagings, I love the fact that you can open the figures up and restore them, and that looks to at least be a thing that they're continuing on with the new packaging. So that's the packaging over and done with. Let's take a look at both these figures briefly and just discuss them at face value. So both of these guys, they've effectively reused the bodies from other figures. They've recycled them and repainted them. So starting off with Anakin, this reuses the Revenge of the Sith Anakin body, which they've recoloured and annoyingly taken some bits off, but we'll get into that when we actually take a look at this guy. But that's the main body they've used for this figure, so if it looks familiar, we've seen it before. Again, fair enough, it kind of works for this guy. Same with the Obi-Wan, except the Obi-Wan reuses the Phantom Menace Obi-Wan body, of which we saw just around about this time last year, I think. Again, not a bad sculpt at all. Both of these are fine sculpts, and in terms of Hasbro as a business, if they can reuse something, if they don't have to remake something for the sake of remaking it, then it makes sense to just reuse stuff and repurpose it a little bit. And both of these do look good enough. They might not be, you know, screen accurate because there would be obvious little detail differences, I'd imagine. If you want to tell me those, please feel free down in the comments below, but that's where we're at with these figures, and that's kind of the case for this whole wave, really. So let's start off with Anakin, having a proper look at them, and I have to say the head sculpt on this guy is the main selling point. I think that is absolutely fantastic. Very, very close to Hayden Christensen and how he looked in that film. Of course, you've got his Jedi braid there, which is sort of glued on, but that photoreal tech really does sell the figure a bit more. I've seen a lot of people's reviews on both this Anakin and the Obi-Wan figure as well, which I will show you, and there seems to be like a wash in the hair. Some washes have looked absolutely dire, to be perfectly honest with you. I think the Anakin one that I've got's fine, but you can kind of see where some of the kind of wash hasn't gone into the recesses, and they've kind of left little splodges on the hair. It's nothing too major on mine at least, but I've seen some absolute shockers in some videos and pictures online. But yeah, if you can pick and choose one in the store, I definitely recommend picking and choosing in store. They have repainted the body from the Revenge of the Sith Anakin. They have given him a bit of a grey colour in the underrobes there, and they've also given it a remoulded arm, of which is a bit more noticeable. I mean, at first glance it wouldn't be that, but opposed to having his cybernetic hand, of course he's got the cloth robe one. The sculpting on the line work is fairly soft, but if you look closely at the other one, you can see which one's the redone and remade one, just due to how harsh the lines are on the sculpt, which it's not a bad thing. It's not entirely noticeable, but when you see it, you can kind of see it. It's passable though. Nothing to get too narked about, at least in my opinion. One thing that you should maybe get narked about, and it's a little bit annoying given that we saw in press shots of this, there's no soft goods skirt, which is a bit of a bummer because it doesn't look bad. It's just, it does feel like there's something missing there. I'm not going to get too annoyed by it, but come on Hasbro. I don't know what's happened there, but it's a bit of a boo-boo. I'm sure if you're creative, you could probably make one. I'm fine with it. It's not a major thing, but some people will see it as a major thing, and I do agree with them. I think it's a bit cheeky that Hasbro hasn't included that. I don't know what's happened. I don't know if it's happened in the factory where they forgot to do it. It is what it is. Take what you're given. It's up to you what price you pay for it, really. Nonetheless, going on down, you've got his boots there, which I think they have slightly recoloured from the Revenge of the Sith Anakin figure. Let's get into accessories, and the only accessory this guy comes with is a lightsaber. Something that really bums me out a little bit, especially given the film that this is based from. I would have loved to have seen two different lightsabers. You know, this one would have been fine, but to have the green one as well would have been chef's kiss. I would have forgiven that a bit more if they included the lightsaber. But alas, they didn't do that. And all you've got is this one lightsaber. Another one would have just added more bang for my buck. I'm sure some people also say his lightsaber hilt is incorrect. Not really the biggest lightsaber hilt aficionado, to be perfectly honest with you, but to me it seems fine. Again, if you want to correct me in the comments below, by all means do so. You can take the hilt off, but unfortunately there's nowhere to restore it because of course there's a peg on his belt there, but there's nowhere to tab it into, and there's a loop, but there's no loop hook, so you can't really display it on him. Again, not entirely well thought through that, and it kind of shows how they've mixed and matched and slightly bodged it. You know, you can see how Hasbro's cut corners slightly. In terms of articulation, he has a ball jointed neck. He does look up and down, left and right. There's a slight ball joint there, but it's very, very difficult to move just due to how big that neck is. Nonetheless, he has ball jointed shoulders, ball jointed elbows, ball jointed wrists, ball jointed torso, which is very limited to be perfectly honest with you, ball jointed hips, swivel at the top of the thigh, double hinged knees, ball jointed ankles with the rocker joint. So that's it in terms of this figure. Very, very basic, and it would have been nice to see some additional accessories that would have pushed it along in terms of this one at least. Well, that's my thoughts on Anakin. Let's move on to Obi-Wan Kenobi, of which this is the first time having this sort of body sculpt, and I have to say this is probably my favourite one out of the two. Also could be due to the fact that I like Obi-Wan. There's that as well going for it. But that likeness to Ewan McGregor is really, really good. Of course, the body has been recoloured compared to the Phantom Menace one. Some eagle-eyed viewers, again, like with the Anakin, will probably say that that's an incorrect lightsaber. In the comments, if you want to say that and correct me or explain it, that'd be great. The lightsaber does get removed from the hilt. You can do that. I didn't do it with the Anakin just then, but it's a thing you can do. Except this time you can actually plug his lightsaber hilt onto his belt because he actually has a peg hole, which you can slot that in there like so. Okay. In terms of this Obi-Wan as well, there is a running change variant in the coloration of the boots I believe I've got the lighter one, which is the running change. There's another variant where the boots are apparently darker. If I'm not mistaken, the lighter boots are more accurate to this look of Obi-Wan, but it's just worth knowing. I love the look of this guy. I mean, again, it's passable as an Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan. Aficionados would probably say there's things that are wrong with it. If we just go around, the sculpting on the robes is gorgeous. Like I said, head sculpt's great. It's just very basic, and in terms of this guy, I think in terms of accessories, I would have liked to have seen maybe a cloak, because that's what he does actually wear in the film. That would have been nice to see. They didn't. Again, cutting corners slightly, but it is what it is. I've already really gone through accessories. In terms of articulation, he has a ball jointed head on a ball hinge as well. Ball jointed neck, so he can look even further down, even further up, although it's a little bit hindered by his robes. He has butterfly joints, so you can move the arm in and out like so. It's a little bit hindered again by the robes. Ball jointed shoulders, ball jointed elbows, ball jointed wrists, ball hinged torso, and the hips are on ball joints as well. I'm going to try and show you that. I've got that profile like that. If I move the leg forward, then it kind of brings the leg out at weird angles. It's weird. I can't describe it very well, but it's a different one. Swivel at the top of the thighs, double hinged knees, and ball jointed ankles with rocker joints. So you can get this guy, or both these guys really, in some pretty damn good action poses. Yes, they're slightly lazy in their execution, but they're fine. I'll let Hasbro have this one. But if you are someone who is a stickler for detail, maybe wait to get them on clearance, because it wouldn't surprise me if they do, you know, go down in price. But at the same time, if you are a big Attack of the Clones fan, I wouldn't wait around too long. Because obviously we need loads of Jedis for an awesome arena battle, and without these, it would look a little empty. So, let me know in the comments below what you guys think of both of these figures. Lazy attempt by Hasbro or somewhat justifiable? Let me know. And, well, this is me, Daniel East 1000. I can get all of the figures. Signing out, and thank you very much for watching.